we have one of the top accountants in the province of Nova Scotia leading our party. And I'm very excited about that. As he has gone through the books, he has looked at the promises, he has looked actually in the Change That Works platform, there's actually real numbers. It's a spreadsheet. It shows. Part of the spreadsheet, $50 million NDP accounting contingency plan. We are actually looking at the progress that the pre-election spending has happened, and we want to account for that so we can have a truly balanced budget when we take power. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. Sheila, please.
I guess we're not looking at taking power this election. Hate to say that, but we're building, but we're not there. One person at a time, we're changing. And our message is really hard to sell because it's less means more. So we do have a hard message to sell. We want to be sustainable. We want to green the economy. We want to have green jobs. We want everything to be renewable. We want to reduce, reuse. So we're not a growth economy. We're looking at conservation. We don't want to have wildlife that you can, if you find fossil fuels, you can take them out of that wildlife conservation area. We want to have areas that are preserved for future generations. We think in terms of 7 generations, so we don't think in terms of the next 4-year elections. So we're kind of different. We think of our grandchildren and their grandchildren, 7 generations on. So we want the decision to be right for them. You know, we don't want to cut down all the trees and gain the profit now, take the topsoil off. It's a very different message. I encourage you to look on the website. You might be pleasantly surprised by our vision, our values, and our principles. www.greenparty.ca.
Thank you, Sheila. Ramona, please.
Thank you very much. I have had the opportunity to be one of the 5 members on the Treasury Board for the last 4 years, 3 months. And I can tell you that our budget is truly balanced, and it is balanced because of the hard work of the province. And when I say the province, I'm talking about the government officials and the work that they've done, but I'm also talking about you, the people here. We have all worked together to make sure that we had a balanced budget. After the public consultations with Graham Steele, and it was a decision to raise the HST, we knew that that was going to create a bit of a hardship for some folks. So anybody under $30,000 was receiving a rebate over the last number of years. But it's been the hard work of everyone in this province to make sure that we have a balanced budget. All of our initiatives that we've been talking about have been costed because we've planned them in our budget process as we're moving forward. So when elected and if I have your faith to carry on, we will continue to work hard on making sure that that budget is balanced. We have been recognized by an outside agency as having the best credit rating that this province has ever had since they started measuring in the 1980s. And that is something that every one of us should be proud of. In the recession, the worst recession that we've ever had, that this little province of Nova Scotia has moved forward from being in a deficit to being in a truly balanced budget because of the hard work of Nova Scotians. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramona. Keith, please.
Yes, thank you. The Liberal Party actually does not believe we're at balance yet. I think, it's fair to say we're getting close, but I think we need, the NDP needed to use a bit of sleight of hand and a bit of bridled optimism in terms of growth and job creation. The budget is balanced on some very optimistic predictions for tax revenue, and I have to say, in looking around Nova Scotia, I do not see the growth in jobs. And in fact, we've lost 1,900 full-time jobs over the last 4 years under the NDP government. The In terms of the day after the election, what will we be looking at as a Liberal Party? We don't know exactly. That is why the budget, that if you look very closely at the Liberal budget, it is very realistic and achievable. There are not outlandish promises of cutting HST by 2% and business tax, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We are not in a position to do that. There are too many strains on health and education to begin to pull $360 million out of the revenue stream for this province. So we are actually balancing our budget in terms of the balance of need of the services that we desperately need in health and education with our approach to stay fiscally responsible. So look very carefully. The Liberals are trying to regain trust in politics. We are trying to be realistic with this budget. $46 million here is going to be cut and put into $46 million of new initiatives that are targeted towards specific initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. Next question will go in the order